It was a night full of great moments. Jennifer Hudson, Alicia Keys, big touchdowns, a close game, and the lights going out for 33 minutes. But Beyonce stole the show. Her high-impact performance dominated the headlines and Twitter, and her reunion with her Destiny's Child members, Kelly Rowland and Michelle Williams, was, simply put, one for the books. Vulture has put together a series of gifts highlighting the greatest moments. Let's take a look. I am joined by Mike Hogan. He's our executive editor of Arts and Entertainment. All right, let's take a look at those gifts. Oh, she was having so much fun last night.
She really was. She looked like she was in her element and absolutely silencing the critics who, question whether she could sing at a big event. She appeared to be singing. Everybody seems to think she was singing. But I think at the end of the day, it wasn't about the music as much as it was about these visuals. I mean, they're really something else.
Yeah, I know. Girl knows how to bust a move.
Yeah.
She knows how to bust a move, and she knows how to look good doing it. I mean, a lot of work I know went into just the ensemble she was wearing for that evening, a lot of manpower. And I heard that she spent a little extra money on the production for the evening. I mean, she wanted this. She knew this had to be a big moment.
Yeah, well, Beyonce is reaching this point, for better or worse, where, she's not just a human being or a performer or an artist anymore. She has a pretty grandiose notion,
I think.
She's a deity, at least a mega diva. And so I don't think she was going to mess around. You had two gigantic, drawings of her face, I guess, facing each other.
Very humble.
Just a humility fest, I think, was what I saw. But yeah, no, it was all about just the spectacle of it. And I know the room I was in, everybody was just kind of like, numbly staring. I didn't even know what to say about that.
I was eating my pirate's booty as I watched this all happen. Do you think Survivor was too on the nose? Do you think that's why she chose not to do it?
Well, it might be. Yeah, I mean, clearly she was trying to show a human side of herself, because she has been getting kind of beat up lately for being a robot, for being a little too perfect, for being obsessed with herself. This documentary coming out, a film by Beyonce Knowles. Beyonce, it's like, okay, already, we get it. 16th. Yeah, she's got, a room apparently devoted to her own archives and things. People are starting to be like, does this person breathe and sweat and,
Well, life is but a dream, so.
Yeah, well, exactly.
So she might not.
She may not. She may just float above the ground.
In the dream realm. It did feel to me a little bit like she was having revenge sex with America, though. Like she was like, oh, you want to see if I can sing? Like, watch me sing.
Absolutely, yeah. And she threw in a lot of kind of ad-libs and things to let you know, in case you're sitting home skeptical, like, no, this microphone's on. Yeah. My voice is coming out of this now.
Yeah. Good time for Destiny's Child reunion, given that they're going to be putting some music out. I feel like that really behooved them commercially.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think, how great is that when it's like, oh, we're going to do a reunion, and by the way, why don't you join me at the Super Bowl where 100 billion people or whatever it is are going to be watching us?
Though there is that sad moment where she sort of casts them off and they have to go back to being backup
dancers.
At
least she let them sing one of her own songs with her. They got to sing Single Ladies, and then it was kind of just like, okay, be gone, be gone. Yeah. But I mean, what else do they have to do?
I think a lot of people were watching thinking, Jay-Z, when does Jay-Z
Yeah, I was too.
Yeah, were you surprised he didn't?
Yeah, and then at the end I felt like kind of a jerk, because it's Beyonce's show. She doesn't have to bring her husband out. Like, why would she? But, I mean, they've collaborated on a whole lot of stuff. It's not unreasonable to think.
She needed to carry this one solo.
Yeah, I think it was a kind of a mark of independence, and I'm sure he's going to have his own Super Bowl show someday.
Yeah, come to think of it, I think the entire band was full of women. I'm not sure there were any men on stage during that performance.
Yeah, even the holograms were women. So
the holograms really
would have messed the whole
me.
thing up.
If I had to tell you which one was her and which one was the hologram.
It was hard to figure out, actually.
But those moves.
And then when the lights went out, I was like, what happened to Beyonce? It was like she disappeared. Maybe she did.
Bring Beyonce back out. She can sing for us.
Smoke. Violet smoke.
Well, this morning, the New York Times wrote this about Super Bowl ads 2013, quote, the so-called creative minds of Madison Avenue chose once again to fall back on familiar strategies and themes that would have appealed more to viewers during the Eisenhower, Nixon, Reagan, or Clinton administrations. Ouch. But Samsung's Next Big Thing ad featuring Paul Rudd and Seth Rogen and a cameo by LeBron James was one of the night's best, and thanks to direction from Jon Favreau, felt contemporary and fun. Forbes magazine even tweeted, quote, with a hilarious 2-minute Super Bowl ad, Samsung officially steals the cool factor from Apple.
Samsung wants me to be in their new, their big commercial. Next big thing, yeah.
They called me in for the next big thing.
They gave me a phone.
I got one too.
Where'd you get that?
They gave it to me because I'm the next big thing.
No.
All right, you're here.
Hi.
Hey, So you got the memo. You're working together.
Together.
Hey, celebrity endorsements. Very big. Very big. You guys know anybody? Pitch me something. Crowdsourcing. Huh? I love it.
Space. We can send them into the galaxy with the galaxy. But we don't train them. We just send them up there and we see what happens.
I have LeBron James.
Hi, Bron. You in on Samsung?
Yeah, totally. Maybe I'll do a cameo on the tablet or something.
That's awesome with LeBron James.
Man, that's incredible. You get LeBron James, you got the next big thing. You don't even need anybody else.
That's right. We don't. Don't need anyone else.
I've got it. I'm having breakfast with LeBron's kids.
Dude, why would you be with LeBron's kids?
We're friends.
I feel cooler for watching that ad. I mean, I'm not very
now
cool.
we know that
so
you can
maybe
just
that's
call him Bron. Can you call him Bron? Is that what he goes by?
I guess.
Is that what he said? Hey, Bron.
You have to pay a lot of money to get 3 stars like that in an ad.
Yeah, it's probably especially LeBron James.
Yeah.
I wonder if Paul Rudd, I mean, how much does that really cost? No, but Samsung is working very hard, spending a lot of money, trying to exactly that, take that cool factor from Apple, and they've been making progress for the past few months. But yeah, this is like a super cool ad. It's a lot cooler than those Apple ads where the person's sitting on the couch and you're looking over the shoulder while they flip through, apps. It's like enough already.
Right. Though part of what I liked about this ad compared to a lot of the ads they normally do is they spend a lot of time talking about Apple indirectly.
Yeah.
And this, I think, was good because it just focused on them, right? It wasn't this sort of backhanded, oh, they're not that cool. It was fun. They actually had their own youthful young thing.
Yeah,
happen.
they finally kind of can just leave Apple behind and be what they are. And just having Bob Odenkirk in there is so awesome. Anything with him in it, I'm all for. As a Breaking Bad fan, but also going back to his early comedy days.
And what do you think about this claim that a lot of the ads were dated?
Well, I think it is that sort of. Yeah, I think you saw a little less of the misogynistic, guy on the couch and his wife tisking. But there were a few of those. I mean, I'd like to think that's dated. On the other hand, it's probably at some level reflects like how genders interact in our country. But
I'm going to tell Margaret Wheeler Johnson you said that.
Yeah, please do. We could have a debate about it.
Okay. Well, the weirdest moment of the actual game came courtesy of the Superdome in New Orleans. Just when it looked like the Ravens were running away with Super Bowl 47, a 33-minute blackout halted the game and the Ravens' momentum, giving San Francisco a chance to claw their way back into it.
Welcome back to New Orleans. This is Steve Tasker, sideline reporter for the Super Bowl 47. If you're expecting to hear our friend Jim Nantz, it may be a moment before he gets on. Half the power in New Orleans Stadium, the Superdome here, is out. Moments ago, as we watch the game start to proceed pretty much as normal, one big click of the light switch, and we lost power in the half of the stadium.
So I don't know about the party you were at, but the party I was at, it took us a few minutes to understand that what we thought was going on was actually going on.
Well, also, I think the audio went out for the announcers. So all of a sudden you had a silent TV screen and they're panning up to like dark lights and it's like, what the heck is going on here? Then they came back, explained it. I feel like, New Orleans and the Superdome are getting a bit of a pass because everybody knows what they have been through. If this had been anywhere else, I mean, it would have been like a real get your act together. This is like very rookie behavior on a big night. But, we know New Orleans has infrastructure complications, and this is a place that you don't want to be too light about the things that have happened there.
I'm not sure if the bigger surprise is that it happened or that it took 33 minutes to get them back on, right? Shouldn't venues that are this big have contingency plans?
You would think, right? Apparently, on the other hand, lighting a stadium that big and all that power presumably is super complicated, and if something goes wrong, I guess it takes a while. We had some kind of self-proclaimed electricity expert at my party saying, that's going to take a while. Go in the other room and get a beer. Who knows? But
I had an electricity expert too, someone who does ops at one of the New York stadiums, and he was like, it really should take 10 minutes. Like that is supposed to be your worst case scenario. And it took a lot longer than that. I mean, I started getting nervous about the fans getting restless. I follow someone on Twitter who was there and was saying, what you might not realize is that now the toilets aren't flushing. Like, it had broader implications than just what we were able to see.
Well, somebody on Twitter who was there was saying, you know, they've just made an announcement in that voice that the captain uses on the plane when they don't want you to know that the flight is going down.
Totally. You're going to all be calm. It's going to be totally fine. Well, the Super Bowl was a battle of the brothers last night as John and Jim Harbaugh, coaches of the Ravens and 49ers, went head-to-head for the biggest title in football. In the end, it was older brother John and his Baltimore Ravens who came out on top. He acknowledged his little brother in the speech he gave to accept the Vince Lombardi Trophy from the field in the Superdome.
How hard was it going against your brother out there?
It was really hard, and I'll tell you, at the end of the game was the hardest thing I've ever experienced.
What did you say to him?
I told him I loved him.
And what did he say?
He said, congratulations.
John, congratulations to you. Super Bowl champions.
Mike, I'm competitive, and I have a younger brother, so I was rooting for the older brother just, you know, because it was the only way I could get into the game. But they shook hands at the end. They didn't even hug. That felt very weird to me.
I guess you can't imagine what the emotions are like after something like that. You know, it's very, in one sense, it was a really cool story, and I think the family did a great job of spinning it as, how lucky are we? You know, we're all coaches, we all love this game, we're reaching the height together. But you don't really want to face off against each other so that somebody has to go home miserable and losing. And you know, John apparently is the kind of more intellectual older brother. Jim was always the you know, the athletic, the guy who could throw the football over the tree that no one else could clear. So you know, it was probably really difficult for both of them. You know, you as an older sibling, you know, I know, you feel protective of your younger sibling too. And there was even a moment in the first half where they could have kicked a field goal and they went for some crazy circus play. And I thought, is John trying to let Jim stay in the game here? Or what's going on? It didn't seem like good football. It felt like some kind of weird sibling stuff going on.
That's why I love a good tie. Just everybody wins.
Exactly. Why can't we? Everybody wins. Trophies for everybody.
Trophies for everyone, just to get showing how how millennial I am. In your expert opinion, though, does this now warrant a cinematic feature?
Oh, well, yeah, maybe not in the movies, but like somebody's got to do that for TV, right? Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, maybe you and I
will come back and cast that.
All right, I like it. Thank you so much, Mike Hogan, for being here with us.
Thanks, Lisa.
Great to see you.
You too.
The conversation continues here at HuffPost Live.